Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, November the 11th. We got an old friend of mine. I haven't seen him for a little bit, but he's worn many hats over the years that I've known him. This is Sean Spence. And today I'm going to introduce him as a Regional Director of Community Relations with the Salvation Army.
That's right, Paul. It's so great to be here with you.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, too. I remember when you were with the City of Columbia Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, Better Business Bureau, KOPN Radio.
Yeah.
I've talked to you about MS. I've talked about all kinds of things.
Everything. Now you're here with the Salvation Army, and that's a wonderful organization.
That's right. Well, anybody talking about anything important to the community needs to come talk to you.
All right. Thank you. But the Salvation Army, they do so much for this community.
Yes, sir.
So many people depend on the Salvation Army.
Yes.
What is going on right now?
Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, as you might imagine, one, we're starting to head into Christmas. And in fact, really at the Salvation Army, this is the beginning of our Christmas season, started October 1st, which, you know, we're not even at Halloween yet. So it's a little bit weird to say that, but it really is the case.
So the red kettles aren't out yet?
Not out yet, but they're going to start coming out in November. And they'll come out just before Thanksgiving. Okay. And then they'll be in through the end of the year.
Right. So is there a goal set yet for this Christmas season?
We have not yet announced a goal. That's still getting hammered out. It's going to be a big one, though. I mean, it's several $100,000. We did well last year, but there is a lot of need. And as we all might guess, COVID has given us a lot more need.
Yes.
Honestly, the poor, for the most part, got poorer, and the need got bigger thanks to the pandemic.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's no secret. And so many people would have no place to even stay warm if it were not for the Salvation Army.
That's
the Harbor House is there for people to provide a safe shelter, to stay warm, to provide a meal. There's so many things the Salvation Army does, but it needs our assistance. If you can help out at all, Sean, what's the best way to do that?
Really, the best thing to do is the Salvation Army, and this is the case. I know people are watching you all over the country and maybe even all over the world. You know, we're in, it's like 88 countries the Salvation Army is. So really wherever you are, whether it's Columbia or Ashland or Jeff City or St. Louis or Timbuktu, you pretty much can just go Google Salvation Army and you'll find a local number, or at least a close number.
Chapter, right.
And so what you want to do is just go and Google Salvation Army. You'll immediately find us, or Salvation Army Columbia, and you'll find us. And what you're going to find is a way to help. You're going to be able to find a way to donate, but you're also going to find really interesting ways to get involved if you want to. You know, we're not, the shelter is so important, and we do that a lot of places all over the country, but we also provide so many meals separate from who's in the shelter. You know, anybody. Paul, if you were super hungry, you could go to the shelter and you would get fed. We feed people who desperately need it. But we also do coats for kids, and we do, during Christmas, we do such a fun thing, which is going to get started here in the next couple of weeks. We do the angel tree, where people at little stores all over town are going to find a place where they can get hooked up with a family with children who need gifts, and they can buy gifts and leave them under the tree, and then we'll make sure they get to the right families.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Okay. So if you want to help out with the Salvation Army, if you want to be a part of that family, you can go to the Salvation Army website.
Yep.
Are you looking for volunteers also to help ring the bells?
Absolutely. You know, Paul, I know you've done it. I've been ringing that bell myself for over 20 years just as a volunteer in the community. It is so fun. And let me tell you something. I think a lot of people don't know this. Ringing the bell, we have to pay some people when we don't have enough volunteers.
Yeah, so if you want to volunteer, you can help out.
That's right.
Salvation Army, thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you,
Good
Paul.
to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to talk about how you can save money on Medicare. And SCOTT MINIEA is with us. Scott is an expert with the claims program. And actually what you do is you will analyze people's needs and then recommend what is best for them. You're not trying to sell anybody anything.
That is very true. Yeah, if you turn 65 or if you are over 65, you get a Medicare and You book every year mailed to you from CMS, the Center for Medicaid Services. And if you look on the back, it says, call this number for personalized health insurance counseling. It says, ship for Missouri claim, and it has our number on it. So almost everyone who has Medicare in Missouri has access to that handily. But basically, one of the things that's important is it's open enrollment now, right? So this is the time you can do your annual checkup on your Part D coverage. And although we're here to help you all year round, for this particular piece of Medicare, this is the time to make that call.
Okay, what is Part D?
Part D for drugs. It's the prescription drug plan that you will opt to look into to pay for your medications. Now, some people have a Medicare Advantage plan that has a prescription drug component also, so that would be tangential, but yeah. So if you have a Medicare Part D drug plan now, and you're happy with it, it might be just fine, but because your health changes and the plans change and what's in network and what prescriptions are covered change, it behooves you to give us a call because we can then look at all the options. And although the plans are motivated to compare options among their offerings for you, we will look at all of them that are available, regardless of the provider. We're unbiased in that way.
Now, I see these commercials on television, and it says, in fact, I saw one last night, you may be eligible to have $144 returned back to your Medicare check and get $1,000 of free dental, $1,000 of drugs, at no cost to you. Is that true?
It can be, yes. It depends on, it's all in the details. Like many things, you have to read the fine print and ask a lot of questions.
And
However,
you have to qualify for it, right?
No, not generally. It depends on which thing you're looking at. Obviously, I'm not an expert on every Advantage plan, but what you see often is a supplemental benefit that the plan is offering to entice you to pick them for your Medicare coverage rather than traditional Medicare. But really, with Part D is the big place where we can help people save a lot of money. And in fact, our volunteers, we've just pulled some recent numbers. We have 1,257 years of experience among our volunteers in Missouri right now. And we can save a lot of money.
Okay, and it's free of charge. They're not trying to sell you anything. It's Missouri Claims Program. Just go to MissouriClaim.org or the phone number
1-800-390-3330.
Look on the back of that little Medicare pamphlet that you got. That's the number to call.
That's correct.
Okay? Yeah. SCOTT MINIEA, thank you so much for coming by. Pleasure having you here. See you tomorrow.